There we go. I should be live in just a moment. That'll be fine. Don't need to see ya. I just need to hear ya.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that I have my live stream on as well there, so,
Uh-huh.
everybody wanted me to live stream it, so, that's why I was thinking we were gonna go on Discord there, so,
Oh yeah, I don't
uh
use Discord. It's crap. Well, it's good. It's just it's a lot. So
okay, I gotcha.
okay. So yeah, I'm ready to go if you're ready to go.
Oh, yep, I'm ready here. I was, processing an order, but we're fine there,
Okay,
so,
we're fine. Okay. Well, yeah, like the context, I've been trying to talk to you for a while, but life is busy and whatnot. And what spurred it on was a debate that you had with Vegan Gains, who's your
mhm.
cousin, right? He's a cousin,
3rd cousin, yeah.
third cousin. Okay, and yeah, I was kind of confused about that whole debate because you you said you wanted to end slaughterhouses and that you wanted lab grown meat to be the case. It seemed that you thought that these like slaughterhouses and abusing animals is a wrong thing to do. But what kind of
No.
confused me, no, like correct me if I'm wrong, but
Oh, you're exactly right. I wanna end the slaughterhouses there. It's not a sustainable, way of living there, and we're at a point to where, uh, the industry's exploded there as the world population grows. We can't continue to build slaughterhouses, which leads to unfavorable practices such as, little chicks being ground up there. I don't think any people want to eat, but I don't think they want to know the process as far as to what's eating. Sort of like the back in the early 2000s where they did that. I can't remember the name of the documentary as far as to those houses were concerned, which led to better practices and safety in terms of meat production.
mm-hmm. Sorry, did you say 2018?
No, this was back in this was I think it was actually a book. It was in the, if I'm not mistaken, the very late 19th century to early
Oh,
20th century.
okay. Yeah. Okay, so what my kind of difficulty is then, like if do you think it's like morally wrong to like harm an animal or kill an animal?
Oh, it's morally wrong to abuse an animal there.
Okay, could
Oh,
you,
and by the way, I know I want to make sure I get this clear between, because, like I said, normally I only debate vegan fanatics here, which I've seen a lot of your videos, and you're definitely not one of those
oh,
cases,
I
which I can
have.
definitely appreciate. I do see that some of your viewers do make fun of me saying "there" a lot there, and it's a southern dialect. If you come down to the southern portion of our states being South Carolina, Louisiana. If you've heard of Cash Money Records, hopefully.
No,
Uh,
I haven't, but I it's fine. You probably say there less than I say like. I use a lot of fillers, so I'm sure people will
yeah,
be.
I just want people to understand it's kind of discriminatory towards us Southerners here.
Oh,
So
I see.
I just
Well,
want your viewers. I've never seen you've done that before, so we're good on that there.
okay. Well, yeah.
That's the only thing I really have seen as far as you got a pretty rowdy crowd, but then again,
Pretty
I got a
rowdy.
pretty rowdy.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll say some stuff about me. Like it's just part
Yeah.
of the game, isn't it? No, okay. So let's just let's just be clear on what you mean by abuse animals, because when you gave an example, you said to grind baby chicks alive. So would you see that as abuse?
I see it as morally wrong there, and it's just an example as far as to why we need cultured meat for, just in order to cut down on things such as this. It doesn't. It's not just that. That's just the. I think that's the worst I've seen it. We have other things that are in place. Uh, you know, because of the meat industry, you have to hire more people. Subsequently, those people that you hire may not be on a moral latitude, so they'll end up kicking cows and kicking animals and stuff there. So I've always been against animal abuse in itself there.
Yeah, the reason I'm just
Uh,
like asking because I asked, is it wrong to like harm and kill animals? And you said it's wrong to abuse animals. But like it depends what term you're using for abuse. Like abuse could be like some people use it as like a long-term thing, you know, like kicking animals and stuff like that. But would you say like yes or no to like macerating the like baby chicks? Would you deem that abuse, or would you just deem that like killing that would be wrong?
Oh, absolutely. I made it clear to Richard. I've made it clear to other people that I've debated that that is morally wrong. That is animal abuse,
Okay.
and that should not happen in any industry. But you have to define for me, Ellen, what do you consider as harm to an animal, for example?
Sorry, just my name's Elle, by the way.
L.
Elle, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, or Ellie, either way.
Okay. L.
Harm,
Okay.
yeah, in the same way that the same vein that I would say to a human animal, you know, something that is like painful, causes them. I'm trying not to use the word. It's hard to use the word to you know avoid using the word. But yeah, something that's painful, something that is of the detriment to that individual, like it would be in the human context. So
So
like
you
killing
consider
them,
any
punching them, kicking them, stabbing them, gassing them, harmful. Yeah.
Okay, so you consider pain as being harmful to as a definition as far as harm towards an animal, right?
In most contexts, yeah.
Okay. I don't believe the same thing, and here's the reason. Pain is a biological response to an animal in order to, or any, even a human being, in order to get away from danger. You know, let's take for example, let's say you turn on your stove and you put your hand on the stove. You know, you're not your hand, if you kept it on the stove, you know, you would get third degree burns. So, you know, your pain receptors activate to tell your brain, hey, maybe I should take my hand off the stove itself here, you know, and you take your hand off the stove. I don't consider pain as the same in the sense as harm is concerned.
No,
Pain is just a biological reaction there.
yeah, I'm not
We all feel
saying
pain. That includes even so much as a backache or a toe jam. You know, if your back starts hurting, it's your body telling you through the use of pain, hey, maybe I should lay down on the couch and watch some cartoons or something, you know.
yeah, to be clear, I'm not saying pain as a concept is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to inflict pain on an individual when they're not consenting would be a bad thing by
Okay.
proxy. So if like if you really wanted me to punch you, like you're just like, look, I just need you to punch me, then it wouldn't be bad for me to do that to you. If you were of sound mind to punch you, to cause you pain, if you really wanted that, wouldn't be a bad thing. But if I went up to you and just punched you, you didn't consent, that would be a bad thing. So
Okay.
I'm saying that's the bad thing, to inflict that pain on an unconsenting individual. So yeah,
Understandable.
so I think we actually like agree there, because if I were to like, start kicking a dog, you would say that's wrong, right?
No, I beat the crap out of someone that I saw, and I have beat the crap out of someone that was kicking a dog. You know,
Okay, because
so
you would think it's like wrong to do that.
yeah, a dog is a man's best friend. I mean, kicking any animal is just, you know, like I said, I'm virulently against any type of animal abuse whatsoever.
Okay, so
Virulently.
then my wonder is then why do you pay for it directly? That's where the confusion is for me. Like I know that you say, okay, well, in the future I'd like there to be cultured meat, but that's not something that you're buying right now. It's not something that's commercially available. So how do you pass through currently paying for that to happen?
Okay. Well, first off, some of it is actually commercially available, but we can get to that later. What I'm paying for is not for the abuse and suffering of animals. I'm paying for the consumption of a product in order to sustain my living there. You know, the in order for any living organism to survive, it has to consume something. A plant has to consume soil, the nutrients in the soil and water in order to survive. A wolf or a dog, for example, is a carnivore as well as a cat. It has to consume meat in order to get the nutrients in order to survive there.
Yeah, okay.
So
Well,
what I'm paying for is the consumption of products that will sustain my living.
Well, just to be clear, you were plant-based for a time, weren't you?
Oh, I was a vegan, somewhat activist in the late '90s, actually.
And you sustained yourself during that period.
Yes, I sustained myself
So
there.
then it would be like dishonest to say I need to eat this flesh to sustain myself, because you don't need that flesh to sustain yourself, right?
Well, I function quite well on a vegan diet there.
Exactly. So you can't.
So I guess it would lead to the question as far as to why I did leave veganism there, I suppose.
Okay, I mean, we could potentially like go through that, but I just want like a clarification that you're not consuming the flesh in order to sustain yourself, as if like you need that flesh to sustain yourself. You can eat plants. You don't have to pay for those products, right?
Right, but
Right.
the thing about it is that even and well, I guess I would have to lead into why I left the veganism there. Now, part of it was because I needed to pursue bodybuilding there, And with bodybuilding, it requires a substantial amount in protein there. That's something that you simply can't get from a vegan diet. But for the most part, let me just give you a background on things.
Can I
Are
just,
you familiar with?
before we go
Are
through
you
that, because just you made a claim that you can't get the protein. Like I track my like micros and macros on Chronometer when because I work out a little bit. I'm not at the moment, but I don't find it difficult to get protein like requirements. And there are vegan bodybuilders. There's vegan like protein powder, everything like that. Like, do you really think that it's difficult to like? Obviously, if you're a bodybuilder and you're trying like you're sourcing protein, that can be kind of difficult. But do you really think it's like just so unattainable, like being plant-based?
There are vegan bodybuilders that
Yeah,
sustain themselves
yeah.
on supplements there, but that leads to
Or
another issue
high
there. If
protein
you have to
products.
The thing about it is if you have to maintain a specific diet by using supplements here and you can't do it by food alone, then that itself is a failure within itself.
Do you, as a
Now, on a
bodybuilder,
vegan
have protein powder
now
or
even
anything
when
like
I was
that?
on a Right. Even when I was on a vegan diet, I was able to sustain it through the use of supplements because on a vegan diet, there your body does not, I mean, only things such as B12, for example, you cannot get from plants. That can only come from an animal based an animal, in other words. You have also deficiencies that such as calcium, iron, zinc. You definitely can't get things like creatine, for example, from a vegan diet there. So it's not just the complete protein profile there.
Can
Now,
I?
like I said before, when I was on a vegan diet there, the way I maintained my protein was, I had, and things were, back in the late '90s, things were, you didn't have all this new age products that you have these days. Essentially, put I ate beans and rice there in order to get that complete profile.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, just to see this, because obviously in the bodybuilding community, like supplementing or taking like protein powder or something like that is something that's quite recommended because it can be difficult to, have all that intake. But if someone said to you, look, the only place you can source B12 is two places. It's in the bones of dogs or it's in a supplement. Would you kill those dogs? Like have them pay someone to kill them so that you could get their bones and eat them for the B12, or would you take the supplement?
Well, you have to know where that supplement comes from because some of those supplements are made from bones, actually.
Well, yeah, but like
So
it,
you have to be,
hang on.
so
Let's
they have to be chemically processed there,
Yeah. So,
Ellie.
but we're saying this supplement's vegan. It didn't entail the rights violation of a dog or any other animal, but then the other
That
one doesn't.
I hate it. I hate it when people say rights violation there. You have to define
Okay,
rights
it
violation
doesn't
there.
entail a dog being killed or any other animal being killed. Like, but the bone one does. Like, you have to kill that animal to get their bones. Which one would you pick? Would you have a trouble picking? Like,
Well, of course I wouldn't have trouble picking. I would
no,
pick the
no,
supplement. I wouldn't
exactly.
want.
So why
Uh,
is it different now when we're saying, okay, well, there's supplements that you could take, or you could like pay for like obviously you can source through your diet some of these macros and micros and everything, but the ones that you're recommended to take, you can take them instead of paying for somebody to be stabbed. And you say, oh, of course, well, in that context, it wouldn't be a difficulty, but we're talking about basically the same context, and there is a difficulty. Why is that happening?
So you're saying that a vegan sourced B12 supplement, there's no killing whatsoever. There's no harm to animals.
It doesn't entail killing. It's not
Okay.
like so what I mean by that is it doesn't mean that someone absolutely has to be killed for that product. Like, like lab grown flesh one day, it won't entail the killing or the use of an animal. That's what I
Okay.
mean by that.
And that's where the fallacy goes to here. Okay. Number one, we're arguing about first world issues here, but that vegan source B12, there's actually more animals killed than, and just digging up bones here.
Do you have evidence for that?
Well, Elle, let me ask you a question. Have you ever worked on a farm before?
No, I don't. I would like
Well,
evidence for
okay.
that claim. Like,
Okay.
yeah,
You've never worked on the
I've
farm.
been on
I've worked
farms.
on No, 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 not being on a
Yeah, I
farm,
haven't worked on
working
one
on a
though.
farm.
No,
Actually, you've worked on a farm.
no, no, no. I've been on a farm. I haven't worked on a farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you my experience. I've worked on farms before. My family grew up on, cotton fields and stuff like that and farm peanuts. Okay. And peanuts, of course, is a general food that's eaten by vegans as well as avocados here. Okay. So let me give you the process as far as to how that peanut is made.
Can I?
I
No, can
wake
I?
up.
Sorry, it just to kind of like save
Well,
time.
it's
No, no, no.
well, L.
I'll just
It's
save you some time. Any like deaths that you see as a result of like crops, the animals are fed crops, and they're fed more crops. So any issue that you have with the killing, there's gonna be more so, or like when you include animals, so it's part of the trophic, the trophic pyramid that I'm thinking of. Um, and yeah, if you have an issue with that, like I'm talking about entailed killing, like that it has to come as a result of that, like directly. But if you're talking about animals who are,
what's the difference betwing directly and indirectly? Do
yeah,
you eat
let me
avocados?
give you
L. Do you
I'll give you,
L. Do you
you've
eat
asked me a question.
avocados?
You've asked me a question,
Yeah.
so I'll answer it. So the difference is, so say for example with roads, like that obviously if you get in a vehicle, like statistically that there are people and other animals who die as a result of cars, and that you could well kill them. That could well happen, and one day you could kill an individual. That would be treated differently than you purposefully mowing down an individual in the road, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, there's no difference between killing an animal directly and indirectly. Now, if you've had avocados or peanuts in the for breakfast or have eaten any of these on a 20-acre field of land, you're gonna, in order to cultivate either peanuts or avocados, at least 20 to 40,000 gophers, groundhogs die from the process of
They're shot.
cultivating
They're shot by the farmers,
an
aren't they?
avocado and peanuts here.
Yeah. So what
So
point?
there's no
Sorry, Vince. What
oh,
point do you think you're conveying to me right now? Just to be clear.
that no matter what you eat, there's always going to be blood on your hands.
Yeah. So the difference is here. Obviously, when we're looking at a plant-based diet, there's going to be less so, and it's not going to entail. There's not going to be a purposeful industry that breeds animals into existence, confines them, and kills them. So we've got two examples. Okay, like we do this with other things. We do this again with the road. Like we don't put ourselves in situations where we could be more of a risk to individuals, because then we are being irresponsible. We could cause more suffering, more killing. There's more likelihood there. Like we do that in those contexts. So when someone gives you an option, here's option A. This actually is directly funding an industry that is purposefully killing animals and breeding them into existence, and then there will be other animals who die as a result. Or you have this option where, yeah, there are animals who may die as a result or do die as a result, but it's significantly less so. Like there's one to pick, isn't there?
Well, if you're trying to pick between a cow being slaughtered in a slaughterhouse and a gopher that dies slowly of chemical burns from sowing the fields in order to cultivate peanuts and avocados, I think 40,000 gophers would disagree with you.
Well, that's going to be a false dichotomy
There's
because we're acting as though the
well,
cow, like feeding them, like having them on the grass, didn't lead to any other killings.
I mean, you're trying to pick. I mean, the thing is, L, you're trying to pick your poison there. There's. I
I
mean, like
don't
I
know what you
said
mean by
before,
that.
this is one of the reasons why I do want cultured foods, cultured meat, cultured plants here. That's one of the main reasons is to get rid of these slaughterhouses and also to get rid of all of this type of agriculture because it isn't just the meat industry that's out of control. It's the agricultural industry that grows these things here. To where because we're trying to feed a higher world population, L, it has to resort to more tactics that are in place to where it leads to not only animal abuse but more animals getting killed there, as well as decimating land. Eventually, if we don't get our acts together, the entire food system is going to collapse.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
you're arguing semantics over the death and suffering of animals here. Like I
No. Oh,
said
right. Well,
before,
let's just check. Hang on. So, do you see a difference between, say, if I had a car and I was driving and I accidentally might have hit somebody? Do you see that action differently to if I saw someone in the road, I sped up so that I could hit them? Do you see a difference there?
well, if you accidentally run over an animal, that's an accident. In a slaughterhouse, it's a purposeful
That
killing, so
Vince, I just
they're not the
appreciate
same.
it if you like ask the question I'm asking.
I've answered.
No, no. So
Hell,
what
I've
did I
answered the question.
what did I ask you then?
You asked if it was. I mean, you asked me about running over an animal on the road,
But
as well as
any
asking me over paving over a road. But I'll let you be more specific then, as
okay.
far
So there's
as
a
to what you're. Because
yeah.
I'm trying to. I'm sorry. I'm kind of confused as far as to the point that you're making
Yeah,
on
no,
this here.
I'll lay it out because right. I'll ask the question again, then I'll explain why. Do you see a difference between if I had a car and I saw a person, like a human being, in the road, and I purposefully drove into them, like mowed them down? Do you see a difference between that action versus I'm driving my car and I accidentally hit a person? Do you see a difference between those actions?
Well, of course, there is a difference. One is purposeful and cruel. The other one is an accident.
Thank you. That's the whole point. And this is why when we're talking about like rights of like animals and like basic respect to like leave them be or whatever we're talking about, this is why it's different. So when we see a real clear issue with breeding animals into existence with the purpose of killing them, and obviously there's going to be an issue with accidental like killing or killing as another result or a purposeful thing like that. We're going to see a problem with that, but there is a distinct extra issue with breeding animals into existence with the purpose of killing them, like it would be if I purposefully went and mowed down an individual rather than like accidentally killing them.
But there's no. But that's the thing there. You're trying to say that in order to produce your vegetables, it's accidental. It's not
In some
accidental.
cases, it
I
is
know
accidental. Yeah, yeah.
as a person that's well, I've let you speak. Let
Yeah.
me speak on this here.
No, because
What
it's
I
just
see what
because
you're because I
you
well
misrepresented
you
what.
gotta
Can I just
L
sorry?
L you gotta
I'll let you explain
L you
after.
keep
No, no,
interrupting
Vince,
me.
Vince.
You keep
You just
interrupting me while I'm
you've
trying to explain this
no,
to you
please.
here.
You've
Okay.
misrepresented me a couple of times. I just want to
Well, no,
say, I'm
you've
not, I'm not saying that. Oh, like every single one is accidental. It is purposeful. But if we granted rights to animals, then they would have to actually be considered in this production in the first place. So these purposeful killings, they wouldn't be such a thing that happens. Of course, if people think it's justified to put animals in a chamber of gas to like kill them for a sandwich filler, they're going to like not really care about their them like running around in the field and just shoot them and kill them. So I'm not saying they're all accidental. Some of them very much are purposeful, but I'm not surprised they happen in a world where we stab animals for sandwiches. So I'm not saying they're all accidental, to be clear, just to be clear.
you chemically burn gophers in order to eat avocados there.
I don't do that, and as a vegan I would
Well,
look
that
for
you're
different options.
it's the same context. Because as someone that worked on a farm, I know for a fact that once I put those chemicals onto the field, I know I'm going to kill a bunch of animals there. And I know working on a farm that one of the things we have to do after we've pretty much per se salted the land, we have to walk through that field and pick up every dead animal that we've actually killed in order, and because if they decompose, it increases the acidity into the fields here.
Do you have a
So
problem with this
even
killing?
even even in the production of any vegetables, any type of peanuts, any avocados, I'm going in there with the knowledge that, hey, I'm going to kill some animals. It's a purposeful killing
Yeah,
of
that
those
you've
animals, no different
purposefully
than in the
yeah,
slaughterhouses.
you've purposely done that. But as a vegan, what we are aspiring to see is a world where that isn't the first option. That isn't something you just jump to and go, oh yeah, we're just going to kill them, because that is the world we
But
live
you
in. Yeah.
but your vegan diet has been, I mean, your vegan diet is thanks to me thanks to me and other farmers killing animals here.
Yeah, but
You're
I when I
you
when
wouldn't be
I
able
paid for a
to.
plant, I didn't I like didn't ask for that to happen. It wasn't entailed in the process, and it doesn't need to
Well,
be.
that's exactly what it is there, you know.
Right. Do you have a problem,
You may not have
Vince?
entailed
Do
it
you have a
there.
problem with this killing?
Excuse me?
Do you have a problem with that killing that you did?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so then
I
how
don't
do
want
you
any of that to happen.
okay, then how do you justify paying
that's why I'm working with cultured meats here in
okay, you're
order
working with them,
to
but
prevent this here.
while you're doing it, you are, you talk kind of against veganism in some aspects. You aren't vegan currently. Like, why wouldn't you say, look, I'm going to go plant-based until these cultured meats come out? Because you are paying for a diet and a lifestyle that consists of more of that on top of it. Like, a plant-based diet
Well,
reduces that because it's out of the, the
no, it
trophic
doesn't.
level. It does.
No, it doesn't.
So just to be
I've
clear,
just
you
explained
think there's
I've just explained the
yeah.
process as far as the cultivating plants here.
What do animals like? So we've got like 70 plus billion land animals on the planet. What do they eat primarily?
They eat plants.
Yeah, plants. So they're consuming plants for however long they live.
And some of them eat meat.
Yeah, some of them do, but
But we can't have a but Elle, we can't have a planet to where all everybody eats plants here, you know. The
yeah,
reason being is because if we had a the purpose of our ecosystem working as far as carnivores are concerned is to prevent overpopulation of those plant eating animals such as deer, such as rabbits. Because when there's no carnivorous animals around, uh there's going to be deer and rabbit overpopulation that's going to pretty much eat up every vegetable out there, leaving us with practically nothing to eat. It will also decimate forests.
so no,
Trees will
hang on.
literally
We've
fall
gone
over.
off on a tangent. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around. No, what I'm
it's not a tangent. You're trying to justify what you're trying to do is you're trying to justify that your vegan diet does not entail killing, and I'm telling you it does.
right. What I'm trying.
It's a purposeful killing.
Right.
We purposely, whenever we cultivate any type of plants or anything as a farmer, we know we're going to kill a lot of animals,
Okay.
and that's the purpose of putting those chemicals on the ground to kill all
Right,
those animals,
Vince.
so that way
Listen
they
to
don't
me.
eat up the plants.
Yeah, listen to me. So we got 70 plus billion land animals. You said they eat plants primarily. Yeah, they do. So
Hmm.
you're saying, oh, well, when we grow these plants, we have to kill all these animals. So we're growing all these plants for us and for 70 plus billion land animals, feeding them, then killing those 70 plus billion land animals. And you're telling me that the plant-based diet doesn't lead to less killing.
It leads to actually more killing,
How?
and I've just explained why.
Right, like I'm gonna draw a picture. Maybe you can draw it with me. Okay, so we have this world, 70 plus billion land animals. Okay, we got them. They all need to be fed. Okay, so we got all these crops that feed them. They feed them. Okay, and then we're talking plant-based, where we cut out the middleman and we just eat the plants. Okay, so we don't need to grow all them
You're
ones
wrong
to
about
feed.
that. There is a middleman. I mean, you're spinning the topic for your own interests there.
Right.
L.
I'm not interested in like what I'm personally, my motivations, any meta like that. I'm just interested in how you get to the conclusion that this is going to lead to more killing as a plant-based when we're talking about feeding all of these animals, some of these animals of whom, for months they are being fed. They're on all this land And somehow, all these crops that they're being fed, plus the crops that we eat anyway, and you're telling me that the plant-based diet and lifestyle would lead to more killing.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll give you a point of contention. Let's say that we lived in a society to where just everybody just ate plants. Nobody ate any meat whatsoever. Do you think that I mean, do you think that and I'm going to ask you, would you prefer a planet to where everyone ate nothing but plants? No meat whatsoever.
I mean, as long as if it's cultured flesh, then that would be nothing I'd really have a problem with.
Well, we're not talking about cultured
But
flesh.
yeah,
I
I
brought that
want
as a
people
point
to
of
stop
contention as
like
far as to what.
I want people to stop like purposely killing animals and using them for, food and for other purposes. Yeah.
Okay. So is it possible? Okay. So I'm going to lead you in this question here. Is it possible to feed the entire planet without killing any animals here on a
Probably
plant-based diet
not.
only?
It's probably not even possible to do it
There
without
you
killing humans. So hang on. Yeah, it's not possible probably to go about it and not have like humans killed as a result. That doesn't mean that it's then justified for me to like pay for people to be killed or to directly kill them. Does it?
you paid me in order to kill, to kill animals in order for you to have tofu and avocados and stuff.
That's because we
You
live in
see,
a world.
yet most people, the problem is it with, and this isn't just with vegans, this is with carnivores, this is just with regular people. People want to eat, but they don't want to know how the food is made, unfortunately.
Yeah, the thing is, Vince,
They don't
again,
want to they don't want to see the illegal immigrants that are brought into this country that have to toil, have their wages stolen, in order to pick oranges off of California. They don't want to see the animals slaughtered in any facility. They don't want to go and see. They don't want to see someone salting the fields with chemicals. They don't want to go and see me picking up dead animals off of those particular fields. They don't want to see any of that. The only thing people want these days, and it really disgusts me, is they just want to eat. They want to go to a restaurant. And I think it's very high and mighty and like I said, this isn't just vegans, this is just for everyone to go about and just simply say, well, if I eat vegan, I'm not harming anyone.
that's that's
That's wrong.
that's not
You're not
the
harming any animals.
so
It's
it's the
it's it's wrong.
so when you're a vegan, you're trying to avoid the harms and the violations of these like individuals. Like you're not trying to pay into systems that breed them into existence to exploit and kill them. Like that's the whole vegan
You're
thing. To act
what
as if anybody who thinks that they are not having some sort of negative impact on any animal, including human beings, is not really understanding like how this works. That's not the claim. I don't go around saying, oh, nobody's negatively affected by my presence or by my purchases. That's not what's being said. So if we could just keep it like to what I've said, or like that would be really helpful. And I do want to say as well,
it's
hang on, Vince,
that's the problem. That's another thing. It's what you said.
Vince, you spoke for a
And
little
what you
second.
said
Vince,
what you said is wrong.
Vince, I just want to address just for a second. There's a article by Fisher and Lamy about alternative methods that could be looked into in order to reduce, crop deaths. So anything in like with cyanide, but pesticides, things like that. These are practical possibilities that could be looked into, but I'm really not shocked that they haven't been explored when, again, we literally, like, in the next farm next to the crop field, there will be like a shed full of animals who are just like starving to death, like dehydrated, pecking each other. Like I'm not shocked just so someone can slit their throat and put them in a sandwich because someone wants them instead of paying for a plant-based thing. Like,
Exactly. I don't want that happening.
then
I've explained that
why'd you pay for it?
in order to sustain my life.
That's dishonest, Vince, because again,
Well,
you
it's
already
all
conceded. You
if I
conceded. Hang
well,
on,
it
hang
is
on.
not dishonest there.
You
No, you
conceded
keep
that a
interrupting.
plant-based
L,
diet.
I've let you. L,
Yeah, no,
I've
but
let you
you
speak.
go
You
for
have
very
overspoke me
you go
throughout
for
this entire
long
debate.
periods. That's just
L,
the
you
thing.
have overspoke me in this entire debate, and each time I try to raise a point, you just completely cut me off. Now, give me a little bit of respect there. You invited me on in order to actually debate, but a debate means that we both have equal speaking times here,
which
and I think that most of
you've
your
had
audience
more
would
of.
agree.
You've had more of. You've
I've not had
genuinely.
anything.
I'll go
I've
back and
not
I'll
even had to
count.
explain
I
my
can
points.
confidently say you've probably had longer
I
time.
tried to tell you something about as far as the why I switched from veganism. You cut me off from there. You've cut me off from
No, no, no. We said we move.
just right.
No, we would
Yes,
move
you
on.
have.
We
Yes,
said we
you
would
have,
move
L.
on. We would like move to that topic like
No,
later, and then
you
ask you
said
another
that you moved
question.
on, you would move on. You're
Yeah,
trying
I
I
said
mean,
we
and
would
I'm trying to
explore
bring
that
a point of
later.
contention that a vegan diet does not is not less or more of anything in terms of the killing of animals or what you consider the death of suffering of animals here.
Can you
You
demonstrate
just
that
want to
then?
feel good. You just feel in your world, in other vegans' worlds, you feel that because I'm on a vegan diet, I'm not harming the animals.
That's so
I
Vince,
it's
Vince, that
above
Vince,
and
right?
beyond what other people do.
All right, Vince, babe,
Yeah, it
I'm now
is.
getting a bit fucked off because I've already said to you like
Well,
multiple
too
times.
bad. I
Yeah, well,
mean, I'm
listen,
sorry.
listen,
That's the
Vince,
way it is
Vince,
here. You've
you
never worked
don't,
on a farm. You've never sold
Vince,
supplements.
Vince, you talk about me respecting you, but you completely misrepresent what I've said. I've literally just said 2 minutes beforehand that I don't say, and I never say, even in the human context, that everything I'm doing doesn't negatively affect even human beings. I have said that, and then you say, "Oh, you're acting like you don't cause any harm." No, I'm fucking not, Vince. Like, what the hell are you going on about? So don't talk to me about disrespect and then misrepresent what I'm saying. That's just not respectful. I'm not
I've
gonna
heard
accept it.
everything that you've said.
Okay,
I've heard
so
everything that you've
then why
said.
did you turn around and
Do
say
you feel
you
that you're
say that you cause no harm? Did I say that?
No, I have a purpose of eating animals here,
Yeah,
you
so
know?
you've
And
already
I understand the negative concepts as far as the slaughterhouses are concerned. I accept that.
you've
What
already
you don't accept is the fact that, you know, you don't realize or you wish to ignore just like I do as far as to what it takes and what is involved as far as to what you generally eat. You think that you're better than us.
so
Vegans
I'm
generally veganism veganism in my opinion is a first world issue, you know, in my opinion. What I'm meaning by that is that, you know, countries such as ours, US, UK, most first world countries, uh this argument between veganism is only in this place. Whenever you go to a third world country whatsoever, to where you're in an environment such as Africa, where the land is not even suitable for growing anything, not even grass, you know, they're going to reach out and they're going to eat whatever is available in order to survive.
it's ironic when we
Veganism
say
is a
yeah, it's ironic when we say that it's a first world problem when we're talking about like in the UK like a million tons of soya is imported from South America. It's as a result of like deforestation like of the Amazon rainforest and other South American rainforests, and we send that soya over, and as do other countries, to feed animals like pigs, chickens, and cows just so we can kill them. So, yeah, it might be something that happens a lot in the first world where we eat a lot of animals, but it is negatively affecting these other countries. Like, so I think it's just kind of ironic to like even bring that up in the first place. But I want to circle back. This is why I like cut him, because I didn't want to tangent like away from something when we were on a specific point. You were talking about how you eat these animals because you want to sustain yourself, right?
right.
Okay, but you conceded earlier that you were sustaining yourself while you were plant-based and that you can sustain yourself on a plant-based diet.
Oh, absolutely. There, I
So
have the know-how and the nutritional knowledge in order to do so.
okay, so that's why I said it's dishonest to say you were doing it to sustain yourself, because you can sustain yourself while being plant-based. So
But you
for what
miss
reason
okay,
do you do it?
there's a difference between sustaining yourself. And I had also brought up the point that I was moving into the field of bodybuilding. Okay. That's not there's a difference between sustaining yourself in order to live and to actually achieve and work towards a goal as far as bodybuilding is concerned. They're two different elements that require different nutritional requirements.
And you
A person could sustain themselves by eating Big Macs every single day. There's a guy that's eaten nothing but Big Macs for like 30 or 40 years. Sometimes there's a difference between surviving and then there's a difference between thriving. But whether you are a vegan, a carnivore, or an omnivore, which I'm an omnivore, The only difference between someone eating an avocado and me eating meat is you're simply picking the method of death uh,
we
that
we we
one
we
animal
we
has
we-
to have.
we're going to
That's it.
other points. So hang on. So
There
do
is,
you
I
think,
mean, that's the
just
point.
hang on, I just need to, like, I have a brain that really like focuses on and pins in like loads of different places. That's why I just want to keep it streamlined. Okay, so we're talking about like surviving versus thriving. So you think like like someone on a plant-based diet, vegan bodybuilders, you think they're just surviving, they're not actually like doing very well as bodybuilders or anything like that?
Well, the record clearly shows there's no vegan Mr. Olympias around. There's no vegan Mr. Universes around.
Does that mean that inherently you cannot be like a good bodybuilder, a successful bodybuilder if you're plant-based?
No.
So like
And there's
Delgado,
there's
anyone like that, they aren't actually like doing very well. They're not building muscle. They're not bodybuilders who are like built well. No.
like who? I mean, do you name one? Okay, name one champion vegan bodybuilder.
Like even if I couldn't like, and I don't think like
Well,
it's not
name
my
one.
field, but even then like
Name
you're
one.
talking about a niche like population of people, of course you're going to see
I
less if not none of that people in that group just because they're not
Well,
in
saying
that.
niche is the same as saying a minority there. So I mean,
Yeah, well, yeah, that it's a few people in comparison to the rest of the population. So of course you would expect less, if even like a smaller sample size, maybe no sample size of vegans. That doesn't tell you whether or not
so
inherently that's going to be something that they're not able to do, right?
well, I choose. Okay, well, I choose the profession that I wish to be. I choose what I aspire to be. There, to for you to dismiss it as just a niche there is kind of insulting
No,
to
no, no,
me.
no, no, you misunderstood me. What do you think I'm saying is a niche?
Bodybuilding.
No, 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 that's not what I'm saying. No, I said veganism is a niche. Like it's less people. So of course
I
you'd
don't consider.
expect less.
I don't consider veganism as a niche there. You know,
I mean, it's like
I
what,
mean, I
1% of the population? Like worldwide?
well, no, there's some. I
So
mean,
you think a
I
majority
don't
of
keep up with
people
how
or
many.
even half people are vegan?
Well, you have. I think veganism is more regional. Even though it can be 1 or 2%, you have a number of countries such as India, for example, where most of their population live on vegan diets. There, the reason being is because they worship cows, for example.
So they're
You
vegetarian.
know,
They still consume things like ghee. They're not vegan.
Half of I mean, some of them do consume ghee, but you have to remember a dairy product itself there, while you're pumping hormones, that's another thing I don't like. I don't like cows and hormones and stuff like that. While you're getting milk from the cows are still alive. In other words, you're not having to kill the cows. It's no different than in Africa to where, they'll literally drink the blood or they'll make blood sausages out of it. It still keeps the animal alive.
So do you think it's
But
fine
India,
because they're
India,
keeping the
and these
animal alive?
other places have cultures to where they are sustaining a omnivore diet, and they don't have to go and kill animals or anything.
See, but just to be clear, do you think that like it's not the case that a small proportion of the world's population are vegan? Do you think there's like majority vegan, even 30% vegan? You think that's the case?
No, it's a very low percentage
So
there,
that's what I was saying.
as
So
far as
when I
1%.
said niche, I wasn't talking
But
about bodybuilding. I was talking about veganism, and then you pushed back on that as if I was saying something that's not the case. But yeah,
but you do realize, as far as the reason why it's only 1%, right?
I'm not really talking about the reason why. All I'm saying is, of course, in like the
It's
bodybuilding
very
sphere,
important
you'd
to I
see less people who are vegan. Like that's what you'd expect because there's less people generally who are vegan, especially with all the kind of stigma surrounding, being plant-based and a bodybuilder. Of course, there's going to be like people in that field who think that, yeah, no, you need certain products to, be healthy and be able to sustain that. But is there actually evidence that you cannot be like a successful bodybuilder on a plant-based diet?
I think I just brought up the point. There's like 60 or 70 years of evidence that a vegan bodybuilder cannot be successful
What's that?
because
Sorry.
there's no champion vegan bodybuilders.
So how is that? that like reliable evidence as to why it would inherently be the case that a plant-based diet would mean that someone cannot be a successful bodybuilder? I don't understand how you're getting to that conclusion.
Okay, L, let me ask you a question there. What is the goal of being a bodybuilder? It's a competition.
Yeah, so
You want to
hang
you
on.
want okay, let me you
I,
want to win first place. You want to win. You want to walk home with that trophy. You want to become Mr. America, Mr. Universe, or Mr. Olympia.
how many
That's the goal.
bodybuilders, how many like of these winners had green eyes?
Excuse me?
How many of those winners had green eyes?
Well, none,
Well,
0.
oh, that means people with green eyes can't be bodybuilders. That's the
Well, that's
evidence. No, there's been
well,
none.
that's a matter of heredity.
No,
That's a matter of
no.
heredity.
There's been no green-eyed professionals, so that must mean that people with green eyes can't be bodybuilders, and that's the evidence, right?
There are no there are no green-eyed people on this planet.
Wait, what?
I mean, you're talking about heredity. It has nothing to do with what's required to be a bodybuilder. Bringing in the fact that
Exactly,
there's no,
exactly. But no, that's what this is my point. You're trying to tell
but
me
you're talking about an impossibility there.
no people.
So
Wait,
let's leave out the let's
Vince.
leave out the green-eyed
No,
stuff.
wait. You think people don't have green eyes?
Not I've never seen anyone with green
I'll
eyes.
show you right now. There's people with green eyes.
I'm not looking at your stream
Yeah,
right
no,
now
no.
because
I'll
I
share the screen right now. It's a real thing. People have green eyes. Like, I'm not fucking with you. Like, hang on. A window. I just want to show you. I'm not going crazy. Like, these are real eyes. You see that?
how many
Like,
okay, how many
obviously some of
people on
these
the
are
planet?
edited. Exactly. How
Okay.
many people on the planet have green eyes? Not many, and not many are vegan. So I'm trying to just demonstrate to you that I can't just say, oh, people with green eyes can't be bodybuilders, can't do well, just because there's no like Olympian or nobody who's won who had green eyes. These people do exist, but there's less of them. It's less common to have green eyes. But for me to say, oh, my evidence is that none of them have won, therefore this, I'm just trying to show you how you can't use that as reliable evidence. And that just sounds as silly to me as me turning around and saying people with green eyes can't do it because of that.
There have been, as far as I'm concerned, I've never heard of any person with green eyes even attempt bodybuilding. Where on the other hand, there's been hundreds of vegan bodybuilders that have attempted to win over the course of 70 years. And guess what? They didn't win.
Oh, there could have been people with green eyes. Like, the thing
But
is,
they did.
like, hang on, there's a small
You're
percentage.
qualifying a niche within another niche there.
Wait, what? I
It
think
does
there's more
the green
people.
eye
There's
thing.
more
The
people on the
green
world with green eyes than there are vegans.
Okay. Let's get back to the ethics of veganism there because, I tried to bring in the point of body, the green eye thing doesn't makes any bit of sense here. I'm just being honest with you.
I just
You
asked
can't
my
relate you
chat,
can't
like, because
relate
there's some people in
you
here who
can't
don't
relate a
like me. I just put
you,
one in
you
the
can't
chat if
relate a
you
green eye.
get it. Like,
Here's the problem. There's been plenty the difference between comparing a vegan bodybuilder to someone that has green eyes is that there have been way more vegan bodybuilders over the course of 70 years than obviously green-eyed bodybuilders.
what?
But I will
How
tell you this
do you
here,
know the eye color of every single person who's been in the bodybuilding competitions?
0.
No, do you know the eye color of every single bodybuilder competitor? You could tell
No,
me right
but I
now.
know one.
No, so I don't think you can really like safely make that claim. There's probably some guys with green eyes who just didn't do it.
If there was a bodybuilder out there with green eyes, I would definitely hear about it because it would be a unique character within the industry that someone is competing with green eyes,
No, it wouldn't. I personally
Yes, it
know. So,
would.
like, I personally know about 3 people with green eyes. It's not like, oh wow, they have green eyes. That's part of their like when they go to their job. People don't go, wow, they have
I've
green
never
eyes. One of my best friends has green eyes. Like nobody like makes a point of it. It's just a thing.
I'm 46 years old. I've never encountered anyone with green eyes here. Maybe they're from the planet Mars or something. I don't know.
Do you genuinely think that like people like it's such a phenomenon for people to have green eyes? I'm like so fucking. I'm a bit, like I didn't know that would be like a shock or anything.
But it's still pointless here. You know, here's the thing. Whenever I started in bodybuilding, or let me give you an example. You went to school, right?
Yeah,
I mean, everyone goes to school. Who taught you letters and numbers? A teacher, right?
right.
So I would obviously, if I'm going to pursue something such as bodybuilding, I would have what's called a coach. A coach would put down a diet plan, you know,
Right.
and my job is to follow that diet plan. What did it have in it? Meat. But that's still, even with that being such, that was just one of the particular reasons here. It doesn't have anything to do with my main reason from moving away from veganism, which I tried to explain to you, but I cut you off there. You cut me off. Now, if you'd like for me to explain it there, I think it would be very important. I'll leave it up to you as far as the why I
Go
left
for it.
veganism, because
Go for it.
it really has very little to do with bodybuilding. That's just one small factor
Well,
in
before
me
you
as
do
far as
that, I
leaving
just want to
veganism.
address the teacher thing. Just because a teacher tells you something doesn't even necessarily mean it's right. Like they can be wrong. Like I don't know what the point of that really is.
Do
But
you know your letters and numbers?
I mean, yeah, but someone could have like told me the wrong pronunciation of a word. They could have told me like wrongly. Teachers don't, just because they're a teacher doesn't mean they're teaching you the correct thing.
Well, that's what a principal is for. The principal watches over the teachers to make sure that they're being taught right.
Yeah, but are you telling me every single teacher who's taught someone has taught them something correctly?
No, of course
No,
not.
exactly. So it's not necessarily okay. Well, we have to follow what they say. But you go ahead and talk about the reason you left the plant based diet.
Okay. So it's going to take me a little bit. Okay. So I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, right?
I do
You
now.
familiar with you are you familiar with Asheville, North Carolina?
No.
Okay. A lot of the place, it's basically a vegan mecca. You would love it there. But in any event, one day I went out to this particular hostel, you
Hmm.
know, and I had my lunch with me. Very very nice lunch. Bean burrito with some Fritos corn chips in it. There, this hippie came up to me and said, "Hey, I see you're on that vegan diet." He had some weed with him and stuff like that. And I said, sure. I did have something there. And then he tells me, why are you on a vegan diet for? I say I don't want to kill any animals or anything like that. I want to make sure I sustain thing. The same argument that you have. The very exact same argument that you've been kicking the can around with me. And that's when he explained to me about the ecosystem, in other words. Uh he explained to me exactly that without anyone eating animals, there would be that overpopulation. That's what I was also discussing. And that the way the ecosystem works is, plants grow, cows eat the plants, we eat the cows, we die, we decompose into the nutrients there that the grass eats, and it's a circle of life process. Uh, and that's why I switched. That's one of the reasons why I switched from that, because I feel that by being an omnivore, by consumption there, that I'm sustaining the ecosystem and the circle of life. I think that anyone that, but that's my main reason. That's with those factors in. That's when I pretty much left the vegan movement, or whatever people call it these days. It's a lot more different. Back in the late 90s, it was part of being a vegan. Back in the 90s in Asheville was just to pretty much fit in with everyone for the most part. That in Asheville for the most part is a super liberal vegan neighborhood, you know.
Right. If I sent you data at a later a time and we reconvened after you read it, demonstrating that like sizably like more animals are killed as a result of animal agriculture when including, any like crop death involvement plus the billions of land animals, and the, trillions when including marine life. If you saw that and that was demonstrated to you, would you like have an understanding that okay, you have a responsibility to pick like a plant-based diet over an animal based diet?
No, not at all. I can read the data, but that's not, moving to a plant-based diet is not going to solve the world issues of not only trying to feed the world, but also from these types of animal abuses. I mean, we're on the same side there, El. Neither one of us wants to see animals being abused. But whether
One of us
you're
pays
but
for it
the we all pay for it there, whether
in
what I'm trying to
substantial
what I'm
more
trying to
in like substantially larger numbers. You pay for it, and you pay into industries that like breed them into existence to kill them.
and the agricultural industry, when making avocados and peanuts, kills a lot of animals. I don't want any of that. I don't want. The thing about it is, El, the difference is that you're accepting of the killing of these gophers. I'm not accepting of either industry. I'm not accepting of the slaughterhouse industry, and I'm not accepting of the agricultural industry. The reason being is because I've worked in that agricultural industry. Now, I've never worked on the slaughterhouse here, but I've seen the videos. I've seen Dominion. Okay, I've seen Dominion. So, but I already pretty much knew what went on with these slaughterhouses. I don't want either one of these, and I want you to have an understanding that one is not better than the other.
Okay, so
So,
hang on. Let's have like a kind of like experiment. So, you're told as a part of your life that you have to pick one of two buttons. One button leads to like 20 people dying every single year, and the other one leads to 300,000 people dying every single year. Would you judge me if I picked the one that led to more like humans dying?
you know what I would do?
Mm?
I would not pick either button,
If you have to,
and
if you
I
have
would
to, because we have to eat, right? We do have to eat, and
no, I
as
would if I would rather starve to death than to kill 20 people or 10 people or 5
well,
people.
that can't be true
The
because
needs
that can't be true because
I would
as a result of
I would
living,
literally
we may cause like along the chain of events, the degrees of separation, we may cause actually the deaths, the killing of other individuals just through like the effect of our existence on this planet, us being in a certain place. It could lead to people being killed. Like it could be as a result. You buy something, for clothing. It means that somebody was like abused. It means that somebody might have been killed in working conditions. Like this is something that could well be happening around us right now. Like, but what I'm asking, just if you could actually answer the question, would you judge me if I picked the button that led to so many more humans being killed? Like
okay.
negatively, would you judge me negatively?
Yes, I would judge you negatively
Okay, so that's
because
just
you're
what I'm
talking
doing.
about because you're talking about human beings as far as to accepting whether pushing a button would kill a certain number of people or more human beings here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider, and that goes to my whole contention. Human beings are one thing, animals not so much. Human beings are an apex predator, you can consider, I mean, some of you consider, animals as sentient beings here. I don't consider them as such because, most animals, do not have a train of thought. They cannot make decisions for themselves here.
Can you just
Look,
hang on, hang on,
I
hang
didn't
on?
put the,
Can you
I didn't
just
put the, I didn't put the planet together as far as to, I didn't create the universe as far as to what place in life people are.
define sentience for me?
Excuse me?
Can you define sentience for me? Just so I know what you mean
My
when you say
definition of sentient is the ability to make decisions,
no. So what it's understood to be is the ability to have a subjective experience. So just to experience the world. Like I'm a very
Okay.
indecisive person, so I mean I struggle to make decisions. I'm sentient though. So you
I don't.
wait. So you think sentient means the ability to make decisions?
I'm giving you my definition of what I believe
Okay.
sentient is.
So
Other people have different definitions of sentient.
okay, I've never
For
heard
me to
anyone
consider,
use that definition. But so you think out in the wild when a deer is eating their food, they hear a noise, they run away. There's no decision making process at all. There's nothing happening there. There's just like
no,
blank
that's a
space.
no, that's instinctive behavior.
Okay, look, so
You're
let's just.
talking there. That's not sentient behavior. That is instinctive behavior.
I think.
That's an instinctive behavior that's passed down from generation to generation. There.
Okay, so I
Why
think.
does a fish? Why does a? Why can a? I mean, why does? How does a fish swim underwater? You
Okay,
know.
yeah. Okay, so what I think we should do is ditch the word sentient because you are using it in such a personalized private version of language that it's not worth using that word. It just confuses people. The understood definition of sentience would mean like having the ability to have a subjective experience, to perceive, that sort of thing. So I think we should ditch the whole word sentient because we're not using it in the same way at all, and just look at like, so you are saying that other animals, they aren't as valuable to you because you don't think that they make decisions.
I didn't say anything or put a value as far as animals
Okay,
are concerned.
but
Now,
it's to you, they don't, they're not, they must not be as valuable because when I was talking about humans, like killing them, you said, oh, okay, well, they're humans, but animals not so much, so there must be some sort of value that you're placing on a human and on other animals that is different, right?
I place more value on a human being than a cow simply because I'm a human being.
Okay, so that's fine, but
I
like,
mean, it's the unfortunate ways of life. It's also, and it's not, and I hate to say this, it's not actually a good thing because those are the same values that pits black against white people, you know, or
yeah, like
other
othering
races.
my
Where,
kin
yeah,
sort of thing,
it,
yeah.
it, it
what
it's a, I would consider it as human racism, you know.
what species is, what.
That's it's when I say that there, I you know it's not I want you to understand that it still isn't a good thing there, you know.
Okay, well, the great thing about veganism is that, you don't have to think that like animals are necessarily equal to the human animal in order to grant them basic autonomy. You don't need to do that. I could value a human 10 times more than I value a cow or a dog, and still they would be like, but like under this threshold whereby it'd be justified to stab them. So like
So
in
what you're trying to say is just because I eat meat doesn't mean I don't value a dog or anything.
That's not what I was saying with that. No. What I'm saying is you don't have to value a human on the same level as a cow or a dog in order to still see that the dog and the cow also are of value so far as to not stab them. Like for example, I'll give an example to make it easier. You're probably placing more value on your loved ones, your partner, if people have children, they probably place more value on them, but that doesn't mean that like the people are the strangers that they value less, they suddenly think it's like justified to kill them because they're of so little value. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to a point, although I don't like kids or anything, and I don't really get along with my family because most of my family are homophobic there, so I
Oh
try to
yeah, yeah,
tend away
yeah.
with them.
But fuck them
Uh,
then. We don't do that.
exactly.
We're
But
too queer
I'll
here.
okay. Exactly. The thing about it is that everyone puts a different value on certain animals. If I see a bee, I run away because I'm allergic to bees. If I see a dog, I'm going to pet them. And as far as cats are concerned, I love cats. But when I see a cow, I see it as hamburgers, you know. Now, in other countries, they see dogs as food. So it's not just a matter of it's not just a matter of values. It depends on what values you grew up with, in other words.
Okay, so like
So
let's.
I see, depending on the type of animal, I see it as differently. I see a wolf as dangerous. I don't see it as something that's edible. I also don't see dolphins as being edible, but they, you know, you go to a supermarket down in Korea, for example, and you know they have dolphin fins. I don't see kangaroos as something to eat. You go down to Australia, they sell kangaroo meat. So I think we all put different values again on certain animals.
We obviously, yeah, we do indeed do that, but what like a vegan's trying to pass out is if that actually like makes any logical sense whatsoever. So like say with a dog, you wouldn't pay for them to be killed, would you? or
No,
kicked?
absolutely not there.
Okay, but
I value a dog I value a dog a lot as well. I mean, if I had to choose between a cat and a dog, dog's gotta go. I love cats more than dogs here if I
okay,
had to given the choice.
but they're not human, so they're not capable in your mind of having like a thought. So why are they suddenly of value? Like, why would it be bad to kill them?
Well, it's the way I've grown up there. I've grown up to love dogs there.
Yeah, but
Like I
like,
said, it's a cultural thing. I want you to consider this here. If I was born and raised to eat only plants and stuff, be a vegan, then chances are that I would continue living my life as a vegan. No different than if I grew up being a Mormon. You wouldn't catch me with a cup of coffee or anything, for example.
would
I think our values are based generally upon how we grew up. Now there are exceptions, like I grew up in a very religious family, and of course, being gay, we
well,
so
yeah.
you
Well,
can always buck the grain of things,
that's an interesting
but
question.
that's a rarity.
Would you say it's justified if you said to someone like, okay, so why are you like being homophobic, and like why do you think it's like justified for you to be like homophobic and like vote against me and like oust me? And they turned around and went, well, that's just like how I was culturally raised. Would you think that's a justification for them to continue doing like being that way and acting that way?
Well, no, but that gets to the point of being sentient. We're all raised in a particular way, but for me to change my behavior, that's my definition of being sentient, to where you're bucking the grain against your instinctive as well as cultural behavior. Uh, Once I see an animal, so even as much as I love dogs itself, there, I don't believe that dogs or any other animals other than human beings are sentient animals.
Just to be clear, when you
Now,
say sentient, you mean not capable of a thought.
not capable of decisive thought would be the general term.
Why go with that? Why go with the why call sentience that? Like that doesn't even make sense. Like are you talking about like sapience?
Right.
Like
I'm
human
talking about, I mean, okay,
like
human beings on this planet, we are the only ones that are capable of building roads, building skyscrapers, building rocket ships, building and driving into cars. There's no other creature on this planet that can do that. The only thing that's close to it is our general relative, which is a monkey or a gorilla, which is a primate such as us, which they can, some of them can do numbers, some of them can do sticks. But we are the apex. We are the cream of the crop, as the macho man says. We are the top. We are at the top of the food chain on this planet.
but you know that
There's no other creature that can do what we do.
but you
So
know there
I
are
don't consider any other animal other than another human being is equal to us
okay, but you know there are
whatsoever.
humans who will never have the capability or do not have the capability to like ever build anything like a skyscraper, right? Or like
Yeah,
have
but most of
any
them,
like just to be like to extend it, there are going to be people who have like cognitive conditions that mean that they wouldn't be like capable of doing those sorts of things. Do you think that suddenly they're of so low value that they can be killed and it wouldn't matter like morally?
I've not ran into anyone, even with cognitive ability, someone with Down syndrome, they still have entirely more ability than any animal
Well, I've
whatsoever.
worked in a hospital with patients with certain cognitive conditions where they weren't even able to like feed themselves or like seemingly have perception of like what was going on around them. Like there are conditions that lead people to, as people like explain what like other animals are capable of, like in the condition that they're in, they're seemingly capable of even less. Like
But
to the point where
yeah,
they lack the capacity and have someone else have like capacity over them. Like they do
but at
exist.
this
It's
Yeah, I understand that, but
yeah.
there's one thing you have to still remember. They're still human beings.
Yeah.
They're one of us.
So what is it
That's
about
the
so
only
say for example like and like an alien came down and they took the like the form of a human being and they seem to feel like a human being. We could prove that they're having seemingly a human experience, but like they weren't actually human. Like, would you think, oh, we can kill them because they're not actually human?
Well, no, they would be considered a sentient being because, they would have the ability to pilot and man a UFO. In fact, they would be above us in all sorts of ways because I don't know unless down in Area 51 somewhere that we've already constructed a UFO. A person that's coming from a UFO L is going to be a lot more advanced than we are. That's
So
for
they
sure.
would be like the apex predators over us. So would it then be justified
Oh,
for them to kill
absolutely.
us? It'd be justified for them to come down and, War of the Worlds, take us up, like suck out our organs. It would be like totally morally justified for them to do that, right?
They would have the ability to do that if they wanted
Not the
to.
ability, not the ability. Like we all have the ability. I have the ability to go out and kill someone now, but it doesn't mean it would be right for me to do it. So I'm asking, do you think it'd be morally justified for them to do it on the basis that they would be a superior being? You laugh because the answer's no. Got him. Come on now. Come on, Vince. Just go vegan.
The answer that you would have to have them answer as far as to what they consider moral.
So we'd be going by, yeah, we'd be going like that. That's great. I want my oppressor. I want them to come who want to suck out my organs for a nice stew. I want to ask them how they feel about whether or not it would be right to suck my organs out for a stew.
Yeah,
Somehow, I don't think I'm gonna like their
I would feel
answer.
the thing about it is I wouldn't want them to suck out my
No, you
organs,
would.
but what would we be able to do?
Well,
I
of
would
course we
just
wouldn't.
hope that I would. The only thing I would say is I would hope that they would have the moral aptitude to where they don't eat me,
I
but
would
at the
hope
same time, we
people.
would be able to. The thing about it is, there, L, we would be able to convey a message to them and say, "Hey, don't eat us here, man.
If they
Don't
don't
eat us."
understand the human language and they look at us and go, we can't, like, because we do this with animals, we
Well, if they
go,
could take the
we
form of
can't
it,
understand you, therefore you must be dumb. That's what we do. So if they came down, they're
but
a really advanced species, but they just don't understand human concepts of language. And then they go, oh,
but you
well,
caught yourself there. You said that someone.
you're just not capable of thought. So we're just going to like take out your organs.
Well, you just caught yourself because you said
But
because the original question was, let's say someone came down and, and assumed the form of a human.
oh no,
If
so
they were going
the
to do
question,
that,
the
if they were going to
circumstance.
do that, then they would have a clear understanding of what our
Yeah,
language
we
is.
moved on from that question. I was talking about like aliens coming down, like a different type, just a different scenario. Aliens come
But and
down, they're an
either
apex predator. Can they come down and kill us? They look at us, they come here, they're like going glob 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 glob, and they can't understand a word that we're saying. They can't even understand the way we behave because they're just so different. And they look at us and go, oh, well, they're clearly not capable of our alien thoughts. Our alien thoughts are superior and they can't grasp them. So kill them. That's a different context entirely to the
yeah,
alien taking human form.
right. But the point about this is that there ain't no aliens right now coming down. So I would prefer, if we stick to the here and now as far as to what we're dealing with in this day and age. I'm
What
not
do
worried
you
about
not
any aliens.
do you not understand the importance of a hypothetical to like test the logical consistency of like a position that you hold? Like a
Okay. The minute I see a cow, a wolf, or any creature walk up and flush a toilet or have any type of cognitive thought there to where they would be able to do a specific task similar to what a human being can do. And I'm not talking about messing with numbers or anything. The minute I go and see a cow build a house or a wolf drive a car or even a bird learning how to pilot an airplane, that's when I will consider that animal as being sentient and not worthy of eating.
why must they fit that criteria for you to be able to do, like and of course because I can't fly a plane, I'm guessing you mean yeah, just like a couple in that species are able to do that. Why do they have to be able to do that in order for you to think, ah yeah, I will grant you your autonomy and not stab you or pay anyone else to stab you? Why do they need to do those things?
Okay, L, with proper training, could you learn how to fly an airplane?
Probably not. I'm a bit of a ding dong.
Can you drive a car?
I mean, no, actually, to be no, I can't drive a car either. I don't drive.
Okay, can you ride a bicycle?
Yeah, but like I'm
Okay,
asking.
then.
No,
You ever seen any other? Have you ever seen any other creature on this planet ride a bicycle
no,
other than a
I'm not
monkey?
asking.
I've
Vince,
seen a monkey ride a bicycle before.
Vince,
It's pretty cool.
what did I ask you?
But you see my point
No, no,
there.
no. I don't.
You're trying to change.
What
You're
did I
trying to change
ask
my.
you? What did I ask
But
you?
L, I've already given you my definition of
I know.
sentient.
That's
There,
not what
you
I'm
have a.
asking. Vince,
You
Vince,
obviously
Vince, Vince,
clearly have
Vince.
a different definition of
Yeah,
sentient.
yeah.
So
Well, mine's the understood definition of sentience, definitely. But what
no, it isn't
can
the
we just,
It's
Vince,
not the
please,
understood
like,
definition of sentient.
it's
There's
really
about five or
Vince.
different
Vince, I'm
definitions.
gonna lose what we were literally just talking about. Please, can we just like keep it to the like just streamlined, because otherwise my head like starts feeling like it's gonna blow up. Okay.
Oh, but this
So
is a debate
I
here.
yeah.
You studied my debates. You know exactly you know exactly how I debate. So
I know, right? Like, so where were we? Like, I asked you a question and now I've like forgotten it. Like, it was, oh yeah. So why must they fit that criteria in order for you to think, oh yeah, your life is valuable insofar as I'm not going to pay someone to stab you or use you? Like, why did they have to be able to do that?
because it's my criteria. That's my
Yeah, yes. Can you
criteria as
explain
far as
why?
that's my you're asking okay, L, you're asking me to define it. So I have the right to make a definition as far as the what I consider sentient.
I'm not
I don't
asking. No,
have
no,
to
no, no.
change I don't have to change I don't have to change my opinion.
I'm not
I've
asking.
explained
Vince,
what I
Vince,
qualify
this isn't gonna
as
work if
sentient.
like you're not like actually just answering the question. I'm not asking for the definition of sentience. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking you why these animals have to be able to do these things that humans can do in order for their lives to be of value to you, so that you don't want to like stab them and kill them or pay someone else to do it. Like, why are those things the things they have to do? You said to me, well, the day I see that happen, then that things will change. But why? I'm not asking for the word sentient. I'm not asking it anywhere. I'm just asking why that's the criteria.
Why is that the
Yeah,
criteria?
why do they have to be able to do that for their life to be so valuable that you think, oh, we shouldn't be breeding them into existence and killing them, and I shouldn't be paying for that?
Okay, first off, I didn't say that they were of no value
I didn't say
whatsoever.
again. I didn't say they're not a value. I said enough
Well,
value that so that
but you're putting words in my mouth
I'm
here.
not. I'm Vince. I'm really not. You said no, no, no.
Yes, you are.
I'll show you. I'll show you that I'm not. You said that you do value them, just not as much as humans. So I've understood that. You said the day that they are able to do these things, like fly a plane, all of that, then things will change for you. Like, so I'm not saying you think they have no value. I've never said that. I'm saying that they seem to not have enough value right now, so that you think, oh, I won't pay for them to be stabbed. Like, I won't pay for humans to be stabbed because they're of this value, but animals are lower, not none, lower. I'm so that I've never said that you said that there's no value.
Now, I will agree with you that I do consider them as lower than human
Yes,
beings here.
yeah. So
I consider them on the lower chain of things, you know.
okay, so
And
I'll just rephrase. I'll just re-ask the question, just so we're clear that I'm not saying you say they have no value. I'm saying, why did like these animals have to do things like fly a plane, flush a toilet? Why did they have to do those things before you'll see them of enough value so that you don't pay for them to be bred into existence and killed, like you wouldn't with a human?
I've just explained that. I've explained
Please
you
re-explain.
okay, because I set the criteria based upon how I was raised as far as a criteria as far as to whether I would see an animal that I would normally see as a hamburger uh to put that on the value to where it wouldn't kill. Now, if let me give you let me give you an example. Let's say I see a cow and that cow can do, let's say, magic tricks. It can jump through hoops. That I've never seen a cow jump through hoops, so the last thing I would want to do is eat it because I want to continue to see the cow jump through hoops. It's sort of like the killer whales down in Shamu down in SeaWorld. Most Eskimos will kill whales for their oil and everything, But if you ask anyone in the audience, hey, would you kill Shamu for their whale oil? No, because they do tricks for them, and stuff. So I mean, it can be something as simple as sort of like what one of our traditions in our country is on Thanksgiving. The president gives a pardon to some of the turkeys or two turkeys for them not to be killed. It could be for a trivial reason, for example. Uh, but there's a criteria that I actually set as far as to not only what I consider an animal, but whether I consider them as viable to eat, and that's based upon my culture. For example.
So it
Now,
sounds, so just to be clear, it sounds like you are saying
it's a
I base my value of like an animal on how they make me feel. Is that correct?
no. I base my values on how I grew up. I grew
Okay.
up in the South. I grew up in the South, so I'm going to eat Southern food.
But just to be clear,
I'm
you
sure that,
you grew up in the
I mean,
South and you're not homophobic. You're gay, right?
well, the South isn't homophobic.
But you said earlier that like that that's very homophobic because
No, I said my family was homophobic. They're idiots.
one second, my mic just bugged. Am I back? Okay, so you're saying the South doesn't have like a stereotype where there's a bit of homophobia?
No, yeah, there's a lot
Oh,
of
okay,
homophobia,
because of
and
like
that's
the
something that we have
cultural,
to. That's something that we have to continue to fight towards.
because of a
You know,
cultural like aspect, especially in the South, perhaps.
I think in any culture, especially in the United States, you're going to always encounter a level of homophobia.
Okay, so
That
yeah,
that's
so
just
if it's culturally significant to have like certain like religiosity or certain like values that mean that someone's homophobic, do you think it's just justified to be homophobic because the culture like promotes the idea of homophobia?
unfortunately certain cultures and the way people are raised. Some people are raised to be homophobes, and then some of them, while they're raised to be homophobes, they end up being homos themselves. But you're missing I think you're missing the grand scheme of things here. Uh, like I said before, I don't like the slaughterhouses one bit. I don't like the way I don't like the agricultural industry neither. So what I've always worked towards is the cultured foods here. That's why I focus on those. Now I've been on both. What I'm trying to have you and every other vegan get to the point is no matter what you consume on this planet, it's going to involve the death and suffering of animals, whether they are being chemically burned to death slowly whenever we put chemicals down on the field, or whether they get stabbed and chopped up, into hamburgers at a slaughterhouse.
Okay, yeah.
You
So
just have to
you said 2 points there.
you're simply picking your poison.
Yeah, so there's
you
two
know
points there. So, like, firstly, though, I think you'd agree that just because it's somebody's culture to do something that's harmful to somebody else, it doesn't make it justified, right? So it's not
okay.
justified for someone to be homophobic towards somebody else just because it's like something that they grew up culturally embracing. Yeah.
Right, but again, as a sentient being, I have the right to protest against it, or in some cases, beat the living crap out of that
Yeah,
person.
yeah. Those
But
what
you actually bring a point to me. So let me ask you this question: if you had to have a choice of dying, would you rather get stabbed and chopped up to death, or would you prefer being chemically burned to death?
I
What choice would
honestly can't
you?
answer that question. Like, either one would be great
Well,
right
you
now.
got it's a because that's exactly what happens here.
Yeah,
You're choosing between you're making that choice
Vince, just to be clear,
You're making that
I'm
choice
still
three
trying
times a
to
day.
deal. I'm still trying to deal with like because you was talking for quite a while. You brought up several points, and as I said, I just want to streamline this. Like before, we had the culture
But
isn't a
you can't
justification. Then
streamline some
you
no,
you,
you can't streamline something like
you,
this.
you
You
can
you,
you
you just
can
can't.
you can. I have done it many a time. It's fine. We can do this. I believe in us. Okay. So like we're just kind of trying to pass out the culture part first. I just want to quick, like if I sat here and like I was a homophobe in a different world where I'm not a big lesbo, okay, I'm a homophobe, and I sat here and I was like, yeah, you can tell me all of this, but I'm still gonna be homophobic because that's just how I was brought up. You'd think that like you'd just be like talking to a brick wall. That's how I'd feel, at least if it was me, because it'd be like, okay, well that's not justification. Just because you were brought up to be homophobic, you are doing something that's actively harmful to somebody else. Therefore, you ought change and learn and like behave a different way. That's what I'd say to them. Right? So I'm just saying culture, for me, in that context, wouldn't be a justification to do an action in itself. Do you think otherwise? Do you think, no, actually, it would be justified for them to be homophobic if that was their culture?
Well, no, it's not
There we go.
justified, and I would either I would either walk away from them there and not talk to them, or I would just simply beat some sense in them, depending on the situation. But you can't apply that. I mean, but you're applying different standards to the terms of the general subject that you invited me on here for, which is veganism. You're
Yeah, just
trying
to be
to you're trying to get me to justify that uh going on a vegan diet does less harm to animals than eating meat, and I'm telling you that it's not
I
true.
can
And
substantiate that with data. Yeah. I could show you that like after this debate and you could like look through it and then we could
I
convene
can
and go through
sustain it
it.
by the callus. I can sustain it by the calluses on my hands and all the animals that I had to pick up, all the dead animals, burned up animals that I had to pick up on the field. I will tell you this right now, El. It's not good. Neither the slaughterhouses, neither an agricultural field, uh, is going to be viable. I will
Okay,
tell you that right
but
now. There's no sugar coating something like
no,
this.
no, there isn't. But what
You
do
want to.
the
I
no,
mean,
hang on, Vince,
you
hang
want
on,
to feel
hang on.
you,
Again,
you
though,
want to feel good
oh,
about eating. You want to feel good about an
Vince, hang on a second.
L.
No, just
You
one
want to
second.
feel
No,
good about a
once.
vegan diet, and I'm telling you, and I think you're upset at the fact that I'm trying to explain to you,
No,
and now you're feeling guilty over eating
oh yeah,
such
yeah.
and such foods. You
I'm
probably won't eat an avocado for the
never
next
again.
week or peanuts
Never.
or so.
Probably a month at least, Vince. No, what I'm
Yeah,
what I'm saying, right?
that's
No, I'm
but
saying.
we
Hang
L.
on, because I'm gonna forget. Yeah, hang on. It's there. I'm losing it. Okay, I'm losing the thought. The 70 plus billion land animals. What do they eat? What are they
Excuse me.
fed? What are the 70 plus billion land animals currently fed typically?
Well, most animals eat plants.
Yes,
Some
yes,
animals eat meat.
yeah, yeah, so the
The
majority of these
the the,
farmed
the
animals are fed
animals that eat
plants,
meat
right? So
are
the
the control.
plants, anything you're complaining about that happens on these plant fields is going to be noticeably more so in a diet, in a lifestyle consisting of animal products. So if you have a problem with, a plant-based diet and the deaths that it generates, you would have subsequently more of a problem with an animal agriculture-based diet, including plants as well.
But your argument, L, as well as vegan booty and vegan gains, your argument is that I'm contributing to the death and suffering of animals. I will
Of
take the W for
significantly
that.
more. No,
I will take the albatross and say that yes, I contribute to the death and suffering of animals. But what I'm also explaining is so is you and vegan booty and vegan gains. You are also contributing to the death and suffering of
yeah.
animals
So no,
just by what you eat. But there
I
is a solution behind it. The
hang
only
on. Yeah,
difference
we'll get
between
to
me and
solutions.
you.
We'll get to solutions in a minute. Let me just address because you've made a claim about what I say. I've not said that leads to like no deaths or anything like that. And I know that Vegan Gains for a fact like understands that there are like deaths that come as a result of his existence. Even in the human context, he has said as much.
Richard is a
We,
psycho. I mean,
yeah,
he wants to kill every single
yeah,
carnivorous animal.
yeah, maybe
I'm glad
like
that you're not in that position there. So
okay,
let's
but
let's leave him out of it because he's a
yeah,
nutcase.
but no, but what I mean, you brought him into it. What I'm saying is, we're not saying that there's.
My apologies,
Yeah,
then.
that's fine. What I'm saying is, we're not saying, oh, there's no harm, that we're perfect, everything's fine, there's no like negative impact. What we're saying is that we are avoiding like industries that are directly made like breeding animals into existence with the purpose of using them, exploiting them, and killing them. And then on top of all that, a food system that then has to first like feed them and like sees all the animals in the equation as so valueless that we can kill them. We are asking, like, it's kind of weird to just kind of like bludgeon vegans with the current state of systems, because these systems aren't vegan. We want them to be vegan. We want them to consider animals and think, is there a solution whereby we don't have to just kill this animal in order to like, sustain ourselves? Like these are the questions we want to like actually be implemented into every aspect of like our food systems, of other systems, but these systems aren't vegan. So I don't know why vegans get the bludgeon of, oh, well, you pay for this. Well, yeah, I literally cannot avoid that. And if I had my way, these systems would look very different. Animals would be treated very differently. Like, so I don't know, like they wouldn't be bred into existence to be exploited and killed. They are in the systems that you pay for. I'm against that. I don't want people paying for that. And of course, we both want a world where there's cultured meat eventually, because I think that will be something
Well, not just cultured meat, cultured plants too.
Well, I mean, yeah, like
I want cultured.
indoor
I mean, we're
farming, all sorts of
developing.
stuff. Yeah.
There are companies. One that I've invested in particularly is Future Meat Tech in Israel, for example. Do you know that they've came out with a cultured plant material?
I didn't know that.
No water, no
Damn.
soil required there. They just grow the cell plants, and they've actually developed a new cultured fish there.
Well, shit.
Now it looks ugly. It looks really nasty and stuff like that, but it cooks up just like any other fish patty. I would consider it almost like a fish McNugget there, almost.
Oh.
These are things that do not require the death and suffering of any animals. You already knew my position. You even stated my position before this debate even started. So I mean, I have to. The thing about it is that I will accept that, that I contribute to the death and suffering of animals here. And the difference is that vegans will accept one culture but not the other. Me, I don't accept either one. I don't accept the agricultural process to grow things like avocados and peanuts. I also don't accept the slaughterhouse culture neither.
So wait,
Vegans,
so
they will not accept the slaughterhouse culture, but they will accept easily the agricultural. And what it is
Vince,
that
that's just a complete misrepresentation of vegans. I don't know any vegans who are like, you know what, the plant system is completely perfect. We don't need to change anything about it whatsoever. I've never met a vegan that thinks that. Why do you think
okay.
that?
Well, Elle, do you feel, based on the information that I've given you, do you feel bad about eating eating avocados and peanuts based on the fact that knowing that eating those particular products means that you have contributed to the death and suffering and burning of 20 to 40,000 gophers and groundhogs and other ground dwelling animals within, and this is just, and I'm telling you the number of animals on just a 20-acre
Yeah.
field.
So do I feel bad about
Now,
that? No, because I don't subscribe to a degrees of separation like mentality of things that are completely out of my hands, like feeling
because
bad
you've never
about
had
those
the
things.
opportunity to
No,
because you've never had the opportunity to pick up dead animals off of a field. Now, if you had to go, in order to have your avocado, that you had to go out to those fields and pick up every single dead animal off of a field,
that
would you still
I
eat
wouldn't,
that
yeah, but
avocado?
I wouldn't be on that field killing them. Like if I worked for that, I'd be against that, because I'd be
But it's okay for me to but it's okay for someone like me to go out
when
there
did
so
I
you
sign
can
off on
have
that
your
being okay?
avocados.
When did I say yeah? Because I didn't pay for the body of an animal. I didn't pay for their like products that like entail
That's
them being bred into existence to be exploited and killed. I didn't pay for that.
but now you know
No,
what's
I
entailed there.
already no. It's not that it's entailed. It's that it has to happen as part of a system in a non-vegan world.
Well, there you
So what I
go.
do is I'm a vegan. I try and advocate other people to be, so that in future these systems are vegan. That's what I try and do.
Okay. The thing about it is that you can I can understand if you make a cause of general health, but if you're trying to make a cause of veganism as to killing less animals, you are completely wrong
Oh, then you know
about
what?
that.
I can't like do this right now, obviously, because you won't have time to read through it. But I would just give you the data that demonstrates that that absolutely is the case. That there is less
That
so
part.
on a plant-based diet.
But
I'll do that
now
for you.
there's one other subject I do want to move on to.
How long?
you know,
How
and
long do you think? Because it's been like
this will
an
only
hour and
take
a
like 5
half.
minutes here. This will only take like 5 minutes here. Now, I've seen that you've do you endorse you I've seen that you've endorsed the actions of vegan booty. Is that correct? Am I understanding
This
that
would
you
be a
endorse her
longer than
action?
5 minutes conversation if you want to
No,
talk
it'll be
about it.
5 minutes. Trust you got to trust me on this, L.
What actions?
I've seen some of your videos that you agree with what vegan booty does.
Yeah,
That she
tell me
goes
this
out
specific
and
action.
yells and screams at people and call them murderers, and that you're contributing to an animal holocaust.
I accept that type of protest if somebody like has
Okay,
an issue with something. I think people have the right to do that. Yeah.
okay. Do you have any family members? Does your mother is your mother a vegan or does she eat meat?
Like none of my family members are vegan.
Okay. Would you walk up to your mother and call her a rapist and a murderer?
No, because I wouldn't.
Then why would
Why
you
would I
go and do that? Why would you go and do that to somebody else?
like if so? You're telling me. So
Just
I hang
because
on.
they're
Whoa, Vince. I don't do that. What you actually mean to ask is, would I accept vegan booty doing that to like my mum? But yeah, I would. If my mum's a member of public walking around, she's participating in something, and someone protests, they're allowed to do that until they're like told to leave or something like that. That then it
but
becomes
would you do it to
illegal.
your I
When
find that
Well,
highly
no,
I
because
find that
hang on.
highly egregious because
Would I do that?
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
do that
know. I
whether
don't.
it's
Have you seen me? Have you seen me doing what vegan booty does?
no,
No.
but you're saying that
So
if your mother was walking down the street,
and
you would accept vegan booty going up to your mother and calling her a rapist and a murderer. I
yeah,
wouldn't
if
accept it whether it was my mother or whether it was any other
I
human being.
accept someone protesting somebody's actions out in public. If it's my mum, if it's somebody else, I
There's a
can't
difference
just
between
hold my.
protesting and walking up to a child, which and vegan booty went to someone's birthday party and screamed at a child, calling them a rapist and a murderer. A child.
I haven't seen
Now,
me So
personally,
hang on.
now
So
personally,
hang on.
I
Can
would
you? No,
never
no, no,
walk
Vince,
up
Vince,
to
Vince,
any
Vince,
person
because
and
you're
call them a
telling me. No,
rapist
no,
and
Vince, Vince,
murderer.
Vince, Vince, Vince. You are what specific actions of vegan booty did I say I support?
You said you support her type of protest.
Which one?
You
Because she does loads of different things. So tell me the video where I said, "Oh yeah, that's fine."
when she went to that, I
Because
mean,
you're
whenever
bringing up all
the
these examples and saying, "Oh, you went up to a child and called them a
but I
rapist,"
just
and
asked you whether
you
you
think
agree
that's
with
fine.
her.
You think that's fine.
But
Like,
L, I just asked you whether you agree with her walking up to people and calling her a rapist and a murderer, and you answered me and said that
but
yes, I
do I
agree with
believe
that
like
type of
yeah,
protest.
go up to kids and go, "Hey, you're a little rapist"? No, obviously not.
Right, but but I asked you your question about your mother. You said you clearly said that
If
if your mother was walking down the street, you would be accepting
if my mum,
to
no, no,
vegan booty going up to
if my
your
mum was a
mother
member, hang
and
on,
calling
Vince,
her
Vince,
a
Vince, Vince,
vegan.
Vince, Vince. If my mum was part of a member of public and she was doing something that warranted some sort of like protest, like someone that was like, oh, I disagree with this. Not if, to be clear, not if she's randomly going down the street and then like she's targeted. Vegan booty goes up to people in like, it goes into like restaurants and says it like to everybody in there. She doesn't like target anyone specifically, and when she does target someone specifically, it's someone who's doing something like, you know, riding horses or whatever. Like, it's not just,
Right,
oh, goes up to someone in the street and goes, oh yeah, you're a murderer. She doesn't do that. So
but
like
she does do that.
well,
She's done that. I've
okay,
seen her in
can
her.
you
I've
show
seen her does.
me the thing, the like the part where I said, oh yeah, that's absolutely fine. Like I
I would have
fully
to go
support.
back through your. I would have to go back
Yeah,
through your live
yeah,
streams.
yeah,
We ain't got that. You said you only had a couple minutes here.
yeah,
I just
but
want you to get to the consensus that if your mother. I mean, I
if
just want to make it. I just want to make it clear that I have an understanding that if your mother was walking down the street, that her a rapist and a murderer. Now, one
oh
other
no,
thing I
yeah,
do
no, wait. So yeah, just to be clear,
I would beat the crap out of anyone that went and insulted my mother.
okay, just to, Vince,
I would also
Vince,
abhor
just to
anyone,
be
whether
clear,
they
that
were a relative or not.
you're asking me like what I do. If it's just randomly walking down the street or something like that, no. But if my mum was
That's
if my mum was in a restaurant, you know, and vegan booty did what vegan booty does, or she was in a grocery store or something like that, just shopping, and vegan booty was in there, wasn't specifically looking at my mum, but my mum was in there, I have to accept that as something. But like to go up
Right,
to
and
go
that's
up to someone and go in their face or something and say that stuff, I'm not particularly fond of that. And I don't think you're going to find a specific time where I've said, oh yeah, I'm all down for her going up to random people, going up in their face and calling them that. I don't think you're going to
and that's
find
why I
that.
didn't want to. That's why I didn't. That's why I've been apprehensive about debating you, because you're not the. Remember what I said at the beginning. You're not the type of typical vegan
Oh,
that I
I
would
am.
actually debate, because I actually no, I respect you because you actually have some sort of morals there, as far as the where you wouldn't actually do that type of stuff there.
I
That's why I mean my issue is with vegan fanatics. It's not
I'm a
particularly with
fanatic.
I'm
I'm a fanatic, okay? I think it's
No, but
completely
you're not as
wrong what you're
no, but
doing, and I
you're not as hardcore as vegan. That's the mentality of vegan booty and vegan gains. That's why I hate them so much. Not because they're vegans, they're L. It's simply because they have this type of behavior towards others. Anyone that eats meat, Richard wishes that they brags about and actually celebrates them dying. Vegan booty goes up to people's birthday parties and screams at them that they are a rapist and a murderer.
just to be
And
clear, what
vegan booty is very selective based upon her sponsors, because I've noticed that vegan booty has never went into any black restaurant or any African American or African Australian restaurant and protested veganism. And there's plenty of black restaurants in Australia.
well from
She's
my
never I've never seen her one time go and protest a black restaurant. You want to know why?
well no, from my
Because if she did
understanding,
that, her
am I
sponsors
allowed
would
to
cut her
speak
off
or no?
completely.
Like, I'm not really allowed to speak. No, what I was going to say is as from what I understand, she goes to like the big names and protests there. And the whole random kids parties and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure the parties I've seen are because they're using animals. Like, so they're against the people using the animals, like, and selling their services.
But it's a birthday party, Ellie. It's not. It has nothing to do
It
with
doesn't. It
animals.
doesn't
It's
mean if it's
children.
it is to do with the animals. The animals are being directly used in that process, like being
But isn't there
ridden.
another? But Ellie, if you're going to protest, there's plenty of other targets that you can go to. Why go and target a birthday party?
Probably
There's
because it will get more attention. Like it's something that a lot of like activists in any space do, where they want like a headline to go over the thing that they're doing, because people don't always pay attention when you're a bit more passive. Look at me, like if you look at me versus vegan gains and vegan booty, you might hate them, but they're more popular than I'll ever be. They're more known than I'll ever be. They've probably done more like impactful things than I ever will, because I'm a bit more passive with it. Like so it's the kind of like, oh, we're trying to grab attention of this like this issue so that people will talk about it. It's just like in other social justice movements, you had the kind of like militant
Can you hear
people.
me?
Hello, yeah. Can you hear me?
Hey L, I think you've L, I can't hear you anymore. I think
Hello.
your mic cut off.
It's going off. I can see it like going off. Hello?
Hold on, let me go to
He's gone for a second. My mic is fine, yeah. I thought he was listening to me. Oh. What a day. What a day. I thank you for the super chats and the tips, by the way. I will look at them in a moment. I'll just if anyone wants to tip, please do so and I will respond in kind. He can't hear me. He's the one who's left. So Vince couldn't hear anyone. I mean, my mic was still like it was still doing this, like it's showing that it's testing, like, so I don't know why he didn't hear me, but oh my goodness. Okay, well, let me just I'll play the tips and super chats. Thank you so much to anyone who's supported. But I think I think we exhausted that anyway, but he may come back.
Is to sway.
Okay. All right, Vince. Okay, who have we got? Who have we got? We've had Wandering Star follow.
A cut. Our family joined a cut.
Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. I also am on Twitch from time to time. Stein, 2% of the people in the world have green eyes. Yeah, so I think that's more so than even vegans, right? So thank you so much for the sec. I do appreciate that tip. Base, thank you.
I said I'm a lesbian.
Veggie Tanuki the lad tipped £10. 1. He lied. He said he was vegan for health reasons in the same weed guy story in a recent video we watched on stream. 2. Idiot. 3. Bad faith. 4. Clearly
not the apex. They think they are. Jeez, this is frustrating to listen to. Thank you, Veggie Taniki. I think.
Hello, can you hear me?
Back. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? The thing is popping off. It's like I'm popping, so I don't know why you can't hear me.
I still can't hear you. I see you talking.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that then. Let's just, I'll comment in the thing. Let's just call it for now. We can revisit an issue.
Ella, I can't hear you.
Okay, if in the future, if you want. If anyone can is on his comment section, please just get him to open the comment tab or say that we'll just do it another time because I don't know what to do. I'll try. Hang on. Can you hear me? Hello? No, that's done. I think we're just gonna have to leave it, to be honest. Yeah, okay. We'll just leave it. I think it's done. I think it's done. Damn. Yeah, Vince, we'll just leave it. And come back. Maybe a part 2. But yeah.
I'm a lesbian.
Veggie Tanuki the lad tipped £10. Dude is just excusing bigotry of all sorts. The South has a huge bigotry problem. I know because myself, and many people have been fleeing those states for our own safety. Actually evil behavior.
Yeah, I don't understand how someone can have a problem with things like homophobia and then not understand that the same line of logic would apply to other animals. I just don't get it. But thank you. Shaniki tipped 3 times.
I'm a lesbian.
Veggie Tanuki the lad tipped £5. Advocate more quietly and power you please. Advocates are so mean when they yell at me for exploiting and killing sentient beings. Just like how the abolitionists were big meanies to slave owners, pleading _fake.
Please. Yeah, I was just saying before Vince stopped hearing me that, we, in different social justice movements, there were different types of advocacy that were done. Oh no, I didn't message on Discord. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. All right. But yeah, he's gone. Yeah, as I was saying before, he couldn't hear me. We have all these different methods. Do we suddenly think that it wasn't justified for these things to be done to make these changes happen? I don't have that position. So, we've had a few followers over on Twitch. Thank you so much, Flob. And thank you so much, Reem. And oh my goodness, coming in hot, 42.
A cut.
42.
Our family joined a cut.
Tipped 40 quid. Didn't even say anything. Just tipped 40 quid.
I said
thank you so
I'm
much.
A lesbian.
42 the lad tipped £40.
Damn. Didn't even say anything. Just tipped, based. Thank you so much. Yeah, just tell me your thoughts in the chat now that I can see you. If you want a TTS, there's a pinned link. I haven't debated in a while, so yeah. No, it's okay. I've had a very nice day, but I have a lot of frustration in my body. Oh. Yeah, let me know. Tell me what you think. And also smash like on the stream. The stream's staying up. I didn't think green eyes was such a, like, oh my god, they're not even a thing. Like, I know quite a few people with green eyes. Do you still get debate train? Oh yeah, I feel like I'm dying. Do you enjoy the debates? I just don't even know. I don't know if they're fun, but there's a few green-eyed lads in this chat, right? I mean, yeah, like, there's methods that are just, like, wild, and I wouldn't personally do them, but I still think that there's probably some room, like, required for things to happen that I wouldn't personally do, or I would find uncomfortable. You know. Barry Duplessis, professional vegan bodybuilder and winner of Mr. Universe. So wait, there's been a vegan bodybuilder? Oh my goodness. Coming in. Kirsten Mama with the sec. 100 sec. This is what he did to your brain from someone with green eyes. You have green eyes? I don't even believe you. Such a liar. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'll wait for the thing to come through. So wait, surely Vince would know that. Right? And freaking Twisted as well. I have nothing to say. Good debate. Have fun. Had fun. You had fun? Oh, yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I think it has lost momentum. I think most things have. I think there's a lot of fatigue in people that was suffered as a result of, like, you know, a lot of you know, social change, you know, with the pandemic and everything that happened. I saw a big, like, drop in the mental health of people. Thank you, Kirsten. Salad? Thank you for all the tips and all the super chats. I really appreciate that. But yeah, like, what did you think, lads? Okay. I'm a bit rusty. I know that much. And I know Vince's debate style isn't really like a debate, so I thought I'd just kind of like try and be a bit more chill. But I did get kind of annoyed. I don't like it. I'm answering a question. I'm asking a question. Like, my brain is very like, just answer it. You know what I mean? I would like to know as well how he thinks that there's more killing as a result of plant-based food systems. I don't know how on earth, like, one would come to that conclusion. And I feel like even if I send him the data, he's not gonna, like, read it. I'm glad you think so. The whole debate was hilarious. I was rolling. I would not say you need this often, but every now and again is...
Said I'm a lesbian.
Alan!
Alan the lad tipped £16.
Damn!
You did a nice job with the debate.
Alan!
Heart.
Thank you. And a heart as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we get some salads in the chat for everyone tipping? And my favourite part was the green eyes. My favourite part was the green eyes. I loved that. Oh man. You know what? It was funny. Like, Vince, like, it's difficult because, like, when you ask him a question, there's kind of like a bit of a response that doesn't have much to do with the question sometimes. But I do like him. Okay, he's a laugh. He's funny. It's just he cannot justify his behavior. And then anytime I've asked for something, it would then become like it would move on to something else. And it's just a bit frustrating for me. And, you know, but you gotta laugh, you know, gotta laugh. We have a higher population of green-eyed people? Oh, yeah, I know quite a few people who have green eyes. But yeah, Salad's in the chat for everyone tipping. Thank you so much. I'll stay on for a bit longer. And then I'll go away. Oh man. Vince won that one, you reckon? What did he win about it? Are you having a laugh? Are you having a fucking laugh, mate? You taking the piss? You having a fucking laugh? Vince totally won, yeah.
I said I'm a lesbian.
Less is more. That tipped £1. Jesus H. Christo, that was terrible. What happened to your debate skills? I'm not gonna lie, I'm considering eating meat again because of you. For me.
I'm so sorry.
Said
I'm so sorry.
I'm a lesbian.
Doggo Pizza the lad tipped £3. The first time I ran into Vince Goodrum was on Interspecies livestream. But she hesitant to debate him because she thought she was gonna be too mean and then reject it later.
Oh, like regret. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. I got annoyed visibly like a couple of times, but I'm, you know, no regrets. No regrets. It's just, you know, I was getting misrepresented. Things were being said. I don't like it when someone's like, oh, you're putting words in my mouth, when they're literally putting words in my mouth. Well, not literally, because I don't know how you do that, but they're actually putting words in my mouth. And I'm not doing that. I wasn't doing that. When did I put words in his mouth? But yeah, it was, you know, funny. Thank you so much, Less is More. I'm sorry, yeah, my debate skills gone down the toilet, and I'm sorry now that you will be eating animals. That is totally my fault. And thank you, Doggo Pizza. Oh man. Yeah. I wanted to talk to him to find out, because it was really weird, like, how he seemed to think it was wrong to, like, have slaughterhouses, but simultaneously when Vegan Gains pushed him, he was saying all sorts of things like, you know, they can't fight back, they're not sentient, but he thinks sentient means something else completely different. I've never heard anyone, I don't think, say that sentient means capable of thought, like what did he say? It was a very subjective word, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like fuck, I can't do it. Yeah, like a decision making. Yeah, like I don't know anyone who thinks that's sentient. Yeah, it's always might makes right, isn't it? It's just how'd the debate go? Well, you'll have to check it out on the replay, because it will be up. It was good. I think there were a couple of memes in there. Yeah. Decisive. Thank you. Decisive thought. Oh fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still so confused. Like, I'm just... Oh, man. Oh, epic. You know what? Today's been such a good day. Okay? I've had a lovely date. Then I walked back home and I came here and I got such a lovely present today. I got a gift. You know, this is a day to remember, okay? 7th of May, 2023, okay? What a lovely day. Had a great time. Really, really did. So thank you. Thank you. And thank you to everybody who's been tipping. Ood lolly, golly, what a day. Why am I up so late? It's literally 8 o'clock for me. PM. Not late. But yeah. Okay, I think I should leave it here, right? I guess. Unless anyone has any further like comments, any further tips, super chats, throw them in. Let this vegan e-beggar live, okay? Damn. Oh dear. People who willfully choose to debate such profoundly obvious moral
Vince
issues.
Goodrum the lad tipped £3.
I do have problems.
Nice debate there, on YouTube there, about veganism there. Hope you had fun there, let's do it again there.
Thank you so much, Vince Goodrum. Not Vince Goodrum, but thank you so much. Thank you. Oh no. So you're mocking the, don't be doing that. He's gonna be upset. Don't be doing that. To be honest, it'd be like if someone mocked me, it'd be like that was Vince. Oh yeah, okay. Oh man. But yeah, what a good fucking day. I'm loving it. Loving life right now. I'm on cloud 9. I can only go down from here. I really can. These nuts. Yeah, I am.
These nuts the lad tipped £1. Any further
yes.
tips? Literally just asking for money,
Yes,
SMH.
give me your money, these nuts. And give me these nuts. I want these nuts and I want your money. Okay? In any order. Preferably the money first, actually. Then I'll take these nuts. You look sick, thank you. Sick as fuck. But yeah, get your camera up. I want to see you. How good you look. But yeah, I'm definitely sick as fuck. Yeah, meat will help. Yeah, what's the evidence for that? Oh, honey. Yeah, no. Oh, damn. But yeah, thank you, D's Nuts. Thank you, Vince Goodrum. Thank you, Doggo Pizza. Thank you, Less is More. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Twisted. Thank you, Kirsten Bubba. Thank you, 42. Thank you, Veggie Taniki. Thank you, Stein. And thank you, Interruption. What a bunch of absolute fucking lads. You know what I mean? Like, it's just great. So, thank you. This has been a brilliant day. As I say, I'm on cloud 9. It can't get much better than this. Thank you so much to Vince for coming on and chatting with me. I've been waiting to do that for a long time. And, you know, it was great. And yeah, thank you for being here to experience this with me. There are quite a few of you in the chat. There's currently 69. Nice. God, you just can't help but meme, can you? But yeah, I'm gonna go. I do hope you're well. And until next time, salads, I will see you in the next stream. And this one will remain available to all the public. If you want to see other live streams that I do, then all you have to do is click that join button or become a patron. If you do that, you can get access to my live streams, and I live stream very often, and I sometimes also live stream over on Twitch. But yeah, I do hope you're well. Until next time, salads, I will see you soon. Goodbye.